Hi, I'm Jack Howell. This video is a little something different, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. We woodwind players, musicians, any musician, we need people to look after our instruments. In the same way that a race car driver needs a mechanic, we need people to make sure that our instruments work, and not just work, that they really feel great. And it's hard to find people like that. And this video is about Tomoji Hirakata, who is the Yamaha's senior woodwind technician in the United States. He works out of the Artist Services office in New York City. And to call him a technician is kind of a disservice. He's really an artist. And anybody who knows Tomoji loves Tomoji. He's just such a wonderful guy, really a great, joyful spirit, and he's incredibly skilled and incredibly understanding and just makes your instruments feel great. So, I was at Yamaha Artist Services earlier this week, and Tomoji let me film over his shoulder as he worked on my instruments, and he answered some questions. And this video might be a little bit long, but I thought to myself, and I started thinking about speeding some of it up or editing it, but I thought, you know, what if you had an opportunity to film Leonardo da Vinci painting? Would you try and speed it up? Would you try and cut stuff out to make it shorter? Because you never know if what you cut out is the secret, you know, the brush stroke, the technique. So I've left it all in, and if you're not interested in watching one of the world's best woodwind technicians work, if you're not interested in seeing how his hands move, don't watch.
Nice. Get 180.
So Tomoji, can you talk about what you're doing?
Yes, this is the problematic on every clarinet, I would say, the C sharp and G sharp. So like a raw C clarinet, it could be in the middle of the tenon here, but instead we have to locate this C sharp tone right here. So I'm going to try to raise it and then open it up a little bit. So trying to collect the 12th C sharp and G sharp, and then hopefully the high F is more in tune. So that's what I'm doing. So this is the piece, I just cut it up from that lathe. It was a little more bigger chamfer for less noisy stuff. And then I'm gonna glue this, the tone hole goes into this. Just raising just a tiny bit, like a millimeter and a little less than 2 millimeter higher.
And then you bring it up on the inside also?
Compared to
with the
this.
undercut?
Yeah, some German, we experimented, our CSG3 has the tube actually inside a bore extended in like a register tube, but not this model. I don't think that's gonna work. So still needs a little bit of, you know, an undercut. This tone hole that works for this model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is such a treat to see it work. I feel like this ought to be classified.
No, this is a common modification. So,
Yeah.
yeah. No secret here. No secret.
So can you talk while you work, or should I leave you alone?
I could. So let's see. I'm gonna mix the epoxy right now. It's
We're
ZBE
just going to
10.
give a
Nice.
picture of the Rogues gallery in here.
You're here.
Oh yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
right next to Amy.
Yes. The bass clarinet section.
So Tomoji, what makes Yamaha clarinets so good?
That's a great question. Well, as far as I know, Mr. Yamario is the first generation of a clarinet designer who is a genius of a clarinet design. We still use his bass design, which is unbelievable. We have CS line and the SE line, the two basic models. That's his design, and
This is from
didn't change that.
1974.
Yes, 70s, and we're still, you know, looking at his design is amazing. So we didn't change at all. It's still that his design stays the same, and we changed very slowly. Sometimes it's
50 years old.
painful process.
Why aren't we doing a 50th anniversary CSVR?
Yeah, that'll be nice. That's a great idea. So it's
not too late.
some part of the design is more R13 back in the 70s, 80s, you know, more R13 than R13 now.
Yeah.
Well, I could say that.
Yeah.
It's really
Now, I've got to tread a delicate line with you because I know that there are things you can't talk about
Right.
because it's like the industrial secrets. But here's my story. I started playing Yamahas in I think 2018. Ron Samuels
yes.
got one and he came to work and he sounded fantastic. So I thought, well, I better try these. And so it wasn't too long after that I came here, and I think I tried 4 or 5 and picked out a set. The B flat was kind of on par, but the A was clearly better than the horn I was playing. And now here's the interesting part for me is not that they had great resistance and that they had great intonation and were very even note to note. What was, because you know you can find instruments like that, but what was interesting to me is for 2 years nobody touched them.
Right.
No pads needed to be leveled, no springs got weak, no posts bound up. I just played them for 2 years. When I sent them in during COVID, they didn't need to be sent in. It's just like, well, I'm not playing them. How do you do that?
Yeah, it was very encouraging that during the COVID, one of the owner of the music store told me that the Yamaha, we sell more Yamaha than before because people knows what they're getting. So you don't have to try 30 clarinet and get one best one. Just to, if you're getting Yamaha, they know what the Yamaha is going to work. So,
But what makes the keywork so stable? Why is it? Because I've never had another horn that I didn't like immediately have to take to Mark Jacoby and or something and have it sealed up. They just
glad
work.
to hear that. Glad to hear that. We study a lot of the seasoning wood. We actually changed it like many years ago. Now we're getting that benefit from 15 years ago, I would say. So the cracking rate was kind of high back in the days. But we study and we change the factory, how we stock the wood and season the wood. We try not to exactly what happening now is very stable and don't need to see technicians so often. So we're happy with the result. We did it like 15 years ago.
Oh, so it's
so
stability
it's a
in the
long
wood.
time. Yeah, we can't make the good instruments, few days. So. We know one thing is working, but try not to change that and to have. It's clarinet is a really interesting animal. Try to fix everything, and then it ended up the clarinet sounds really not interested at all. So Mike said an interesting thing, whack-a-mole. Try to fix everything, ended up having really bad instruments.
Yeah.
So
Whack-a-mole.
yeah, whack-a-mole.
Yeah, the carnival game.
So I think that's a great way to say it. So try to keep the good thing and improve other things. Really difficult challenge.
So do you think that's what's changed the most over the last 20 years?
Because we learned, we touch here, and what's going to change? It takes a long time to study it. And or the way making keys, we have a really modern technology to make these keys really quick and cheap, but we don't do that because we don't want that change. So try to eliminate the variables. So that's the key to the success.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this rod, still we have like a 2.4 millimeter, like bigger than other rods. So that's doesn't change from Mr. Yamario's design, the first design. So
yeah, and I kind of started in the middle and just kind of barging in here with a camera, but I have to explain that you're the interface between the American professional clarinetist and Yamaha. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you listen to us and you talk to them, and you've got your own ideas, and really good ideas actually.
Just try to open mind. And watching Mr. Wayne Tanabe, he's our brass technician. You know, he had his own business in Chicago for 24 years or more. I'm so lucky that I work with him, or Bob Malone's a great trumpet designer, and watching them really open-minded and willing to try everything. So that's influenced me a lot to challenge everything.
Yeah.
So
now the fact is probably 350 people are going to see this, but if you could tell every clarinetist something to do to their clarinets or something to do to take care of their clarinets, what would you tell everybody to do? Just like, if I could just tell everybody to not do this.
Yeah, for the wood, I think you practice every day.
Practice every day.
Practice,
you hear
that? No.
I didn't tell him to say that, folks.
Somebody said the clarinet player is like an alcoholic person. You drink every day. If you can't stop drinking all of a sudden, so sometimes that affects you. So keep drinking, and that will maintain your. I don't know. That's not a good.
That's not a good analogy?
That's not a good analogy.
Okay, no. Kids, don't drink every day.
Don't drink every day. So the thing is, if you go to the vacation, the clarinets are lonely. So that's when something bad happens. So yeah.
Okay, so no long layoffs, because then the wood dries out. And
if you're practicing 2 hours a day, just do it 2 hours a day, consistent.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about later. I'm going to shut the camera off and let you work, because that's my horn, and I'd kind of like you to. Okay.
Epoxy.
All right, and cut.
Yeah. So a lot of people quite often ignore these closed tone holes that clarinet has. A lot of closed tone holes. So that actually adding volume to the clarinet bore. So if you make the smaller tone hole or lower the location, that means you're decreasing the volume up here. So
I have a feeling that's really important, and I'd never once thought about that.
So the same thing, having tuning barrel, that smaller bore that fix the lower notes a little sharper, upper notes a little stable. So the same thing happens when you reduce these tone holes. But depends on the location.
Wow.
So that's tiny, small amount of tape or whatever epoxy, the stuff fill into the tone hole, actually affecting the clarinet bore. So,
I see.
Yeah.
And so because we used that trill fingering from B flat to C, and that was because that was sharp.
Yeah.
That gives you the latitude to fill it in and improve the 12th by reducing the over volume of the bore.
It's just only not even 1 cent. I know, but sometimes not on the tuner. Sometimes your ear just feels a little more in tune. It's,
Yeah.
every detail matters, I think. So, and then it's all personal. Depends on the setup and mouthpiece, barrel, and
You
how
know,
much.
you have, and this is a particular talent, and I always hesitate to like say exactly how I feel about you, because I feel like you'll think that I'm just buttering you up. But there is a thing that you do where you do one thing and the whole instrument feels better.
Thank you. You're so kind.
You know,
Because I learned from a very special, great artist.
yeah. Let's talk about that.
So I don't have to think.
What was we say that this was the making of me as a
Sorry.
woodwind.
So I'm not even a clarinet player. I can play scales and notes. I know the fingering sometimes. I have to play sometimes, but never in front of the customer. I don't want to make
Yeah.
you nervous. But I could play a little clarinet, but not a professional.
But you know what feels good?
Yes.
So you're reducing the volume just with a UV curing adhesive? Yeah.
Same one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a joke, by the way.
Here, I'll get
So,
that so they'll see
yeah.
that. So tell us about your teacher. Who made you?
Well, my teacher, I'm in a wind band in high school and middle school, and I was in an amateur big band. The conductor played a clarinet. It's interesting thing that. So I'm always with the clarinet player, somehow. And they were a wonderful teacher. And then, I was a Yamaha dealer for 9 years in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the big band. That's him. This is the Dr. Yoshi Iijima. So I worked on his clarinet. He's a good friend with many jazz artists in California. As an amateur big band, we went to a Monterey Jazz Festival, and when I was playing trumpet.
Oh.
But my wife is a saxophone player and clarinet flute. So yeah, he's good friend with a jazz clarinetist Eiji Kitamura, and I always loved jazz.
Yeah, I
clarinet.
saw a picture of Eddie Daniels with a Yamaha the other day.
Yes, yes.
So, but the skill in your hands, the knowing what to do, when did that come?
I guess you have to open mind and do whatever. I don't know. It's coming down for me.
So how old were you when you
it's
started taking the clarinets
just
and
like
oboes apart and fixing them?
I mean, go back to that first question. Wayne Tanabe, Wayne, the great brass technician. He always said that he mentions about Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
10,000 failures.
Yeah, so he said it's find a way to fail. So I guess that's what I'm doing. So to test it, so that I have a great artist as a guinea pig. I'm sorry, but sometimes I try something new. Sometimes I don't tell artists, and that's my dirty secret. So when the artist said, "Tomoji, what did you do? This is good."
What a place for it, the internet.
So that's when I said, "Oh, I discovered this thing and that."
Oh.
So always curious about new things, and right now I got this
Right.
like a silicone material, and some German clarinet company was using silicone pads,
Yeah.
and I remember that sounded really good. So
Uh-huh.
now I try to experiment with these silicones, and some prototype pads are really good.
So what's the latest thing that you came up with that made it into production that you can talk about? Because there's probably stuff you can't talk about because it's still coming.
It could be just tiny details of tone hole height, just like I did it to your tone hole right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I really like? Actually, it seems like a small thing, but I really like this key because this little extension right there catches your thumb when you're playing with the correct thumb position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the designer in Japan. I think
Yeah.
they created it.
Well,
Yeah, a lot of people like
bravo.
this
However
shape.
you say
So,
bravo in Japanese, that's a nice touch.
like sugoi, omedetou.
Yeah. Yeah, you know who you are.
Yeah. Yes. So now we reduce these two tone holes.
Okay.
See what happens.
And then we try it.
Yep.
Super. All right. And cut. So here we go again. Tomoji's working on my brand new Yamaha E flat, which frankly seemed just fine to me, but Tomoji feels it can be improved. So
It's a little bit.
so now it's on his bench with all the keys off it.
I think the pads have aged, so I'm gonna just.
Okay, the pads
change
have
everything,
aged.
yeah. The much better leather pads down here. The skin sometimes buzz. This is.
Yeah.
So it's.
Of course, the pads on my other E flat are like 35 years old.
Okay.
So the reason I wanted to try Yamaha E flat was because of the intonation. Because I had some problems with intonation of my other instrument that seemed kind of beyond the point of just like filling and reaming. And the intonation on this one is very even and very stable. So, open-ended question, Tomoji, how do you do that?
Again, this is actually you picked this model is a 681 Mark II, and it's interesting. More higher end E flat has more hand cutting, undercutting, and uppercut. So this one is more machine controlled precision, and it, when the instrument gets smaller, if you imagine a violin, the smaller violin is hard to tune.
Yeah.
The smaller you do guitar, the smaller flat, more precision requires more exact machining. So I think that's when Yamaha is really good at it. If you try 2 or 3 copies of this model, the intonation actually very similar.
Yes.
And after that, it's after all just how the technician adjusts the pads, the key height, and that's when the instrument get the character. So bass.
That's true. I
model
tried
is-
2 of those,
yeah.
and the intonation was pretty much equal. This one
Right.
was just a tiny bit clearer to me.
So I'm very happy to say that our factory, the controlling, it's, as a technician, only Yamaha, if you order the key, it fits perfectly there. So it's for technician, that is a real joy. Ordering just out of one parts and it fits to, you don't have to do anything. It fits there. Right
Yeah.
there. So the control is very, very, very good. And the other way of saying is sometimes you want to fix the bad part of clarinet design. It's always bad there. So yeah, so precision or the consistency. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the key. So I like this model because more focus and high-end model, more wider undercut, more overtone, they say, but sometimes the intermediate model actually beats the more
so
expensive.
this is the intermediate model?
They said professional, so
Oh, okay.
600 series.
I see.
Yeah. So
I thought for a second I'd
sometimes
pick the intermediate one.
No. Sorry. Sometimes the Yamaha student model beats the custom model. That's really interesting.
That's an interesting point, and that's. We should point out that in intermediate, and this is going to sound like a commercial, except that I've got to say that nobody is paying me to say this. That when it comes to intermediate and beginner instruments, that I think Yamaha is kind of in its own league for intermediate instruments. You know.
Right. So we call the vertical integration. I don't know how to pronounce
vertical integration.
Yeah. So we had like a YCL 81, 72 back in the days. Now we had a custom 82, 852. I don't know the numbers, but right now we have a Yamaha 60, series professional clarinet. Once that design was a custom clarinet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, and it really is a great service, and again, this is going to sound like a commercial, but it really is a great service to students or people who can't go somewhere to an importer and try 35 or 40 instruments. Yeah,
I think so.
It really is great.
So YCL 651, I think, B flat professional. So that actually you were playing a custom instruments from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that to all the woodwinds. I mean, wind instruments, including brass. So.
Am I going to show anything classified if I just pan around your shop?
There's no secrets.
No, that's not true. You can see your other great hobby photography.
Yeah, like a good equipment like this. This is from 1942.
Yeah.
The Leica 3C, 1942. Still works. Works great.
The roller. I can be very happy in here. You have your Taiwanese hard-hinged lathe. Lots of 5C collets. I gotta say, I love me some 5C collets.
That's Jim Becker, brass technician.
Hi, Jim.
Hello there.
A wonderful, wonderful trumpet player too.
Well, I was looking up the history of Yamaha. That actually the company started as a musical instrument company with reed organs in 1878.
Yes. So Mr. Yamaha actually a research and development person, and his father is an astronomer, and he got access to a lot of tools and stuff. So he ended up fixing medical equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Yamaha is. So when I see organ that's broken at his elementary school, so he said, "Oh, I can fix it."
Yeah.
That's great. So Yamaha is a really interesting company who really treat us well. I can say that much. Yeah. So as a technician in Yamaha company is such a joy.
It shows.
Yeah. It's really. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes people would ask me why I'm playing Yamaha clarinets, and I'd say, well, you know, if Yamaha made a dishwasher, I'd buy it. Because, and now you mentioned me being a guitarist, and that's true. I'm a hobby guitarist, and when I got back into guitar, I bought the least expensive Yamaha electric guitar I could buy, and it was I bought it on the internet, and it was less than $200, and it's great. The intonation is great. I mean, it feels you would not know. And you know, of course, I have a few more Yamaha guitars now, but
I think you do. Yes.
but you know, it's just and the audio equipment and you know, everything is just really solid.
Okay.
And now the fun starts.
Not yet.
And that's just leveling the tone hole.
No, I'm checking the grain. It's a little apply a little heat. It shows your circle. I can see better. So that's I can see where the wood grain goes on the top of the tone hole. Sometimes that is the leak happening from there. Yep.
I hope everybody appreciates the level of access we're getting here.
So like this one has little wood grain right here. Right there. It's hard to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and even with the little pads like that, it makes a difference.
Yeah. What's the good word? So this is gonna reveal
Yeah.
the line. Okay. Good. Yeah.
But what a nice piece of wood.
This is. Yep. I
You know?
agreed.
It can't be all that easy to make a one-piece E flat these days. I mean, I suppose it's easier than a bass clarinet,
clarinet.
but
Yep. Okay. Okay, let's stop it right here.
okay.
Synthetic pads?
I trust your judgment.
Okay. That's good. That sounds good.
See, this is my favorite part of having someone like you, is that I can say, Tomoji, whatever you think is best.
Oh. All right. That's good. It's good. One down. Second one. Yeah, it's good. Oh, we're out of gas. Gotta get. Good. Yeah. Very good. Maybe this. Okay, what kind of pad? maybe I'll try this. Let's try this first and see it looks. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Let's go to C sharp. Yep, now it's circle. Perfect. Perfect circle. Very good. C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, C sharp. Chord pads. What should I use? 19. Now let's do the tone hole first. One more. This one. This guy. Now I glued it, so the glue got into the crack.
So when you say crack, you mean the little fissure
No, it's a
of the
grain,
not an actual crack.
not a crack. Yeah, grain. Okay. Yep. No. No.
You can tell how it's sealing from the sound it makes.
Kind of. Yes. So okay. Yeah, where were we?
Yeah. Well, so Tomoji's
but,
almost done. I got out of his space with the camera because I felt I was kind of being intrusive. But we were just chatting, and something that I thought we should mention with regard to Yamaha is the quality of the silver plating, because it makes a huge difference to how the instrument feels. And the Yamaha silver plating, I think, is different.
I think the 6, 7, or even 8 years ago, we actually renewed the plating system in the Hamamatsu factory, from my understanding. So the plating process, a lot of people say plating doesn't change the sound, and I think that's not true. I think, like strike copper, and then after that, the silver plating makes a lot of difference to the sound of instruments overtones. I think Yamaha silver plating is really thicker than any other industry.
And it feels different.
Really, measured it. Really different. You see a difference between like a few years ago Yamaha and the production now is the plating is so much better, and at the same time the sound got better. And we also do like a Hamilton plating, which I think containing like a few percentage of nickel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Hamilton plating gold doesn't look like pretentious gold, a little more darker gold.
Uh-huh. So
So
we're going to
we
see. Are we
use
going to
that-
see that as an option in the
We
CSVRs?
use that for right now the bassoon vocal. We do the Hamilton plating, and CSG clarinet. Actually, we do have optional for the Hamilton plating keys, and a lot of people still we see a huge fan of nickel plating clarinet keys, but
Mhm.
nickel is, I think, banned in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Soon in the United States. We're not sure, but
Well, the silver just feels great,
yeah.
and it is different, and it is, and you say it's thicker than the other new.
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah. That's the change we made.
Yeah.
It's just the silver plating, but a lot of people say it's adding more sparkle in the sound. Yeah, I think that's true.
You know, I certainly wouldn't argue against it.
Mm.
So I'm going to say thanks to Tomoji for doing so much extra work on my new
thanks to
E
you.
flat, and just for everything else. He's just got elven skill, and thanks. And
Thank
everybody,
you.
I hope you enjoy the video. If you feel like getting in touch with me, you can go to cmu.edu or duq.edu and search on my name, Jack Howell. And once again, Tomoji, thanks for your hospitality,
you.
and thank you for everything.
Thank you.